So we've been doing this video to you guys for a long time, how to make a wood ash or cardboard ash or potash or whatever. Now cardboard doesn't have the nutrient rich wood in it as potash would, so it's a little bit less nutrients, but you can add whatever. You just get sticks, get leaves, and you can make something that sweetens the soil, and maybe get just a little bit of nutrients in it. We have a lot of cardboard and paper because we're Amazon shoppers. We have 3 kids. We get stuff from Walmart, obviously, or grocery stores, and kind of save our cardboard, and we can burn it now. All right, let's see if it takes. A lot of this at the bottom is probably going to be wet because of all the rain we've had. So the trick to doing this is to burn it hopefully 2 to 3 days before any rain comes, because as soon as rain hits your ashes, it washes it away. So you want to be able to collect those ashes in 2 to 3 days when you know there is no like hot stuff, hot coals, deep in the pile of ashes to burn you or whatever. If there is plastic or anything in the containers, try to minimize that. Like here's one here from a Christmas present. I believe it was possibly a train set or something, so I took that away. I don't want to burn that and pollute everything here, pollute the air. Now we got a nice little fire going. If you have a huge pile of cardboard, don't put it in there all at once because it'll shoot up 20-30 foot in the air. Just put, stack it 2 or 3 foot up, let it burn down, and it'll burn down fast, and then just add more to it as it burns down. Stick over here. Looks like we've had some oak trees and stuff, and a maple tree there. Some of the limbs came off of there. This would be good to burn too. Remember that a lot of times when you have a lot of wood in here, especially at the bottom, regardless of it being wet or dry, it can be packed so densely that not a lot of oxygen gets to it, so it may not all burn, and it won't all burn if you do this often. You'll know. So when it's done, rake around it, pull the chunks out, reburn those chunks later. Cardboard can be used in multiple different ways in the garden. First, as a weed barrier. Maybe you want a rose garden. Before you put your layer of mulch down, just to give your roses or whatever a head start, layer it down, put a little hole for where the stem comes out of the rose or other gardenia, whatever. Then, to make it pretty, add a layer of mulch on top once everything else is down. You can use them to line your gardening beds with, especially your raised beds, hugelkultur beds. And people often will advertise, say, I got a bunch of cardboard here, and do you want it free, curbside pickup or whatever. And they will come drive 5 or 8, 10 miles to get like a little load of cardboard for their garden. You can absolutely put cardboard, paper, newspaper, whatever, in a compost pile. Flatten it down as best as you can, keep it moist. Add as much green material, grass, vegetable clippings or whatever, into it. Turn it as much as possible, keep it aerated, and that cardboard will absorb the nutrients. So instead of just soil that has no nutrients in it, you'll have a little bit of a nutrient-rich compost or soil. But unfortunately for me, I have an excess of cardboard that I can't use. Again, 5-person family, use a bunch of cardboard. We can either throw it in a landfill and it doesn't get oxygenated and it doesn't break down for 50 years or whatever. Well, let's use it now. We've got a nice big old branch there. Again, we could use a lot of that for our raised bed projects. So this isn't trash to us, it's trash to a lot of people. Something to many people, many mindsets. That'd be something they'd have to work to clear out or pay somebody else to clear out. So if you think of yard debris in a different way, plant food, soil, building up a mound, raised bed, then that is a surplus of good, positive surplus, right, of material. Luckily for me, I have tons and tons of trees that have fallen and limbs all over the place, so this is just fine. I think using the cardboard, vegetable, and kitchen scraps and stuff in some form of another has made it so that we don't even have to have garbage pickup. But, if we could eliminate diapers and do reusable diapers, which there's no way I can. There's no way I got time and all to do all of that. But if we could do that, we would probably eliminate 90% of our garbage, But, I made a video a couple weeks ago saying, do you have to be a minimalist, I guess, to practice permaculture? But I guess in my mind, as long as you're moving toward something better, you're making progress. All right, here, let's check out and see how these ashes have burned down. You remember how tall that was when it was burning? Now it's maybe 10 or 12 inches at the tip, and there's probably still a lot of stuff that's unburnt. So we have to sort out maybe the larger stuff to reburn, but any little tiny particles of whatever can just go into the bucket of ashes or whatever. I kind of used a shovel just to make like a heel, pull out some of the bigger items that we're going to have to reburn later. And some of the wetter cardboard at the bottom is hardened, so we're not going to be able to use that, but we can kind of get a pitchfork in there later, turn it, aerate it a little bit so it's not on the ground. It has a little bit of a air pocket underneath it, so when we reburn it, 2, 3, 4 more times in the future, all this stuff will be used. So out of all that, I'll probably get 2 to 3 5-gallon buckets. That was maybe 4 months worth of cardboard in a 5-person family, and some sticks, twigs, tree stuff that fell. And like I said, there's still more stuff that can be burnt. So after I collected that bucket and I seen it was still smoldering at the bottom, I kind of piled everything back up here and I dug it a little bit, into the ground. So either the wet material will make it die out soon, or if it's hot enough underneath, it may dry it out and reburn it and create more ash. Well, it's probably the wrong time of the year to put this directly on plants, because any nutrients that promote green growth, that has the potential to have freezes. We could have another few frosts or freeze before the end of the season, but we can put it on these raised beds or whatever, and like a nutrient drench or whatever. All right, we drenched that whole 5-gallon bucket all over the bed here. What are you eating, JJ?
A donut.
Is it good?
Yeah.
So we have this emptied, and we'll probably make at least one more 5-gallon bucket, but we are gonna store it probably until we either set up a new bed or whatever. And if you've been checking out our aged wood chip alternative raised bed videos, you'll see that we have started working on a 3rd bed. So we're gonna need some nutrients to drench it with, right? All right, it's that simple, guys. Take care.